Fox 45 News investigation has found that Maryland taxpayers gave public schools more than $150 million last year to educate students who were no longer in class. Will 2026 be the year Annapolis takes action to better protect your tax dollars? As Project Baltimore's Chris Papps explains, one state delegate is cautiously optimistic.
For Carroll and Frederick County State Delegate April Rose,
I like to always remain hopeful.
2026 may be the year that Annapolis begins to follow her lead.
We work very hard for our money as citizens, and we pay a lot in taxes. And educating our students is important, but we need to make sure we're doing it in a proper way.
$318 million. That is how much money a Project Baltimore investigation has found taxpayers have given Maryland public schools in just the last 2 years to educate students who stopped attending class. $318 million. And Rose hopes a bill she introduced this legislative session to correct the problem will finally be passed.
We're paying for them. They're not getting an education. That's why we need to do better.
In Maryland, a school's funding is based on the number of students enrolled on September 30th. The students counted on that day largely determines a school's funding the following school year. This approach allows schools to budget early for the following year. In total, in 2024, more than 891,000 Maryland students were counted on September 30th. Throughout the year, according to the Maryland State Department of Education, more than 7,400 of those students were unenrolled in grades 7 through 12, and they left school for unknown reasons. But taxpayers funded them anyway. During the 2024-2025 school year, Maryland Public Schools received about $20,000 for every student enrolled. If about 7,400 students were enrolled on September 30th and later stopped attending class, that means that you gave public schools about $150 million to educate students who were not being educated. Add that to the roughly $168 million that Fox 45 reported on from the previous year, and in total, you gave public schools over a 2-year period about $318 million to educate students who were not there. For at least the past 25 years, these unenrolled students were labeled whereabouts unknown. But this year, the Maryland State Department of Education changed the name to not accessing educational services.
Do you think the change had anything to do with media reports that we had done on whereabouts unknown?
I think that made us realize that the PDF had not been updated.
Tim Guy with MSDE told Fox 45 News, in 2020, a recommendation was made by the state that changed the name whereabouts unknown, which was deemed too broad. But it took 6 years to make the change, which came after Fox 45 News began reporting on the issue.
I think that calling it something different really doesn't negate the money that we're spending.
To try to protect tax dollars, Rose this year introduced the Education Funding Accuracy Act. It's the 4th year she's introduced similar legislation, following Fox 45's reporting going back to 2021. If passed, the bill would change Maryland's one-day enrollment count to 2 counts, once in September and once in the spring. School funding for the following year would then be determined by the average of the 2 counts. However, if some schools get money to educate kids who left after September 30th, that means other schools are being underfunded when students enroll after September 30th. Rose says she's working with MSDE to correct that with her bill to ensure your money goes to schools where students are attending.
I'm really hoping that we can come to some sort of even if it's a baby step, a path forward to doing a better job at this issue.
The Education Funding Accuracy Act goes before the Maryland House Appropriations Committee on March 11th. We'll keep you posted on its progress. I'm Chris Papps, and this is Project Baltimore.
Hi, I'm Maxine Stryker. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and check out Fox Baltimore on social media to find more stories like this.